Hey, guess what?
What?
Leroy Jenkins time.
All right, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, we got one viewer so far. I wonder who it is. Let's see. Let's check the comments. Let's see. Who is it? Maybe they'll say hi. So, Night Strike. If I was someone who wanted to go watch some premium gun content, where could I go?
Go to
That is not
guntube.org.
YouTube.
Go to guntube.org.
And why GunTube?
Well, because you can live stream on GunTube and show guns. Ooh, how about that?
Ooh. So, say
How
if I
about
wanted to show off my brand new M1 carbine, I could.
you could do that? Yes.
Oh, nice.
And you can if you have a paid version of StreamYard, you can do that too, because you can connect to GunTube with it.
Mm. Then I might have to upgrade so I can start streaming these to GunTube too.
Should.
Should. Yep.
Yep.
So, welcome everybody to episode 3 of the Bonfire Chat.
Yeah, we took last week off.
Yeah. We we partied a little too hard and needed to sleep it off.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I felt
It's
that level of judgment.
it's all Firekitten's fault. It really is.
Yeah, I told him not to. I told him not to talk to those cats across the hallway.
And I told him not to have the catnip, and he's like, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah.
Snap, and ran off.
Hey, you're lucky he didn't take the Type 99 out.
That's okay. I've got an M14.
So, everybody, today we have a double top 5 for you.
Uh-oh.
A top 5 guns we would use in case of dinosaurs were ever cloned back. Because, we only have 5 movies telling us that it's not a good idea to do. Our other top 5 is top 5 guns we would take if we were in a D-Day scenario ourselves. And then for the final finishing touch, or before, we're talking about Kenobi.
Yeah.
So Night Strike, do you want to go with the spoilers first or the top 5?
Let's talk about the spoilers.
Okay. I know people are going to probably hate for what I'm going to say, enjoying Kenobi.
I'm enjoying it too. You know who's playing Darth Vader, right?
Oh, yeah. Hayden Christensen.
And he's not doing a terrible job at it either.
Nope, but I heard somewhere that he's only playing when he's in the Bacta tank, and it's supposed to be like somebody else in the suit.
Well, then, either way, I'm still enjoying it.
But I think that's stupid. Have somebody else in the suit for
you should put him in the
stunts, suit. But at least have him in the suit. Because he did wear the suit at the end of episode 3.
And
I'm pretty sure he's also
remember, no.
Yes. Let's not forget James Earl Jones came back to do the voice. But I got this to say. I heard a little too much in the second episode when I saw that 501st clone begging for credits. It hurt, dude. It hurt. I'm like,
remember what the Empire did. As soon as the Empire took over, if you watched Bad Batch, basically they decided as soon as the war was won, they switched right over from being the old Republic, actually not the old Republic, the Republic, to being the Galactic Empire, and then they started phasing out and stopping all the cloning and all the clones.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually what happens is any clones that weren't killed off by the Empire were basically fired and basically sent to go do their own thing.
Well, I know
they basically either fired them or they just decommissioned them all, and they destroyed the cloning facilities on Kamino.
Yeah, but I also read somewhere, and I forget which book it was because it was in the new Disney established canon, that some of the clones, like that were the best ones, became drill instructors for the regular. Takes 9 months to pop one out in 18 years to get them combat ready. Troopers, they were still being the first generation of TKs were being trained by clone veterans, I believe. I don't know where I read that, but I mean, there's got to be a little overlap where they still have clones serving frontline and natural birth-born human troopers coming in. But holy crap, I'm actually enjoying the show. Like when they showed us Alderaan, I'm like, the only time I've ever seen the surface of Alderaan, Old Republic video game.
There's the Old Republic video game. There's also, if you read a lot of comics of Knights of the Old Republic, and just old the Old Republic itself, in a lot of the old Dark Horse comics, they showed Alderaan many times before it was blown up. There's also in the comics, they also had a new Alderaan, and
wait, what?
Yeah, that got blown up too.
Oh,
it's pretty bad.
Because the only Dark Horse Star Wars comics I read were the Legacy ones, which take place like 135 years after Yavin.
Yeah, no, we're talking like what is
Like-
it?
Oh, time for some Google foo.
Yeah, New Alderaan was part of the dark. It was in the Dark Empire trilogy, not trilogy, but comic series. They also did an audiobook of it too, and it was Dark Empire 1, Dark Empire 2, and Empire's End, and then it was
That's under Marvel.
no, that was Dark Horse. Dark Empire. Look up Dark Empire, Dark Empire 2, and then Empire's End.
Because I got a list of comic books, Star Wars by Dark Horse. They say the Dark Empire. Oh, yeah, Dark Empire 1 was Marvel. So was Crimson Empire.
No, Dark Empire 1 was Dark Horse. Dark Empire 2, Dark Horse. Empire's End, Dark Horse. You know how I know it's Dark Horse?
Don't tell me you have them.
I have the Dark Horse versions.
Oh, and they did the Knights of the Old Republic comics, which were actually good.
The reprints now have the Marvel symbol on them. Okay, the reprints have the Marvel symbol. And if you don't know what happens in Dark Empire, it's Legends now, but basically Luke Skywalker turned to the dark side.
And wasn't that when the Emperor came back too?
Mm-hmm.
And like he was raining on bits. That's where we got the eclipse.
And they used some of that for the new Star Wars movie, but they didn't do it right, and it's awful.
But I got this to say about Kenobi. I don't know why everybody's hating on the actress who plays the third sister.
Because one, okay, go back to episode. What was the one he escaped that one planet, that city planet?
That was episode 2.
Episode 2. Okay, go back to episode 2. Okay, she said something that nobody else in the Empire but the Emperor would know. No one else in the Empire knows, aside from Thrawn, who really doesn't know, but he has a very, 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 he's very intelligent. He has a suspicion that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker. Because if you look at the Imperial records, Anakin Skywalker was a general of the Republic, and then there's no record of him dying or record of his body being found.
And if I remember right, under the new Disney canon, in the new Thrawn books,
Thrawn is canon now.
Yeah, and he has a new whole canon trilogy of books that.
Yeah.
Thank God they let Timothy Zahn write. Because if they didn't, they would have sucked.
But I am so glad that they made him canon and they brought him into Rebels, and he played the part of old Thrawn perfectly.
You know who voiced him, right? Jason Isaacs.
Oh yeah. But I tell you right now, the way they did Thrawn in Rebels was exactly as what he would have been in the original Thrawn trilogy. He did perfect.
No, Jason Isaacs was the original voice actor for the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
So who was nope, that's not what I wanted.
I think it's Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Filoni voiced Chopper? What?
Mm-hmm. You didn't know that?
No. Oh, Jason 96 was the Grand Inquisitor.
Lars
Prince
Mikkelsen.
Juice? Yeah. Ooh, what do I know him from?
He was in Rebels. He was
No, his
Thrawn.
face looks familiar. I've known him from someone else.
He's
Somewhere
an
else.
actor. He's Danish. Let's see.
Wait, what was it? His brother, I think, played
His brother is more. His brother was in the Casino Royale.
yeah, but doesn't he have another brother who played Magneto? Or am I thinking somebody else?
Let's see, Lars Mikkelsen. Let's see. Let's look this up because this is a good rabbit hole to go down to. His relatives. The only relatives is Mads Mikkelsen. But he was in. Lars was in. Let's see. I'm looking to see what we might have seen. Not a lot of movies, honestly.
Yeah.
Mostly he's stuck mostly to ooh, ooh. Yeah. No, you wouldn't have seen him.
No.
It's
But-
all Danish stuff.
If they bring Theron into the Ahsoka show or any of these live action shows like they did with Ahsoka, I want them to bring him back.
Well, you know what
It's like they should have gotten
Ahsoka is
Jason
doing
Isaac.
right now. It's what Ahsoka is doing right now in the Mandalorian series. Okay,
She's
the
looking
Mandalorian
at,
series is basically it basically starts. Okay, you know when Rebels ended.
yes.
Okay, you know how what's her name Sabine says she thought there was more. She decided there was more to it, and that she and Ahsoka decided they'd go out and find Ezra. So basically, when Rebels ended, the Mandalorian started. So Ahsoka is out there, and if you see that one episode where the Mandalorian goes to that one planet with that like governor that
where he gets a spear.
was under Thrawn. Okay, and the reason Ahsoka is looking for Thrawn is because if she finds Thrawn, she'll find Ezra.
But do we know if Thrawn is still in command of the 7th Fleet at this point? We don't know.
Thrawn, at this point, if we're going off Rebels and he hasn't been seen at all, if Thrawn hasn't been seen at all, it means one thing: either Thrawn and Ezra got thrown out into the unknown regions, which we might have a resurgence of the Empire of the Hand.
Oh yeah. Your favorite mod faction to kick my butt with, and
and to annoy Honda with.
But
or here's the other thing: Thrawn may be missing in action, just like Ezra, and it may be a situation where Thrawn and Ezra are basically stuck on a deserted planet, like Thrawn and Anakin were many years prior. You remember that?
Oh, that's one of the new books, if I remember right.
That's one of the new books. Because Thrawn was on a mission. Thrawn was on a mission, and General Skywalker was with him. And then later in one of the other books, the same situation happens with Vader.
Oh yeah, because in that book,
and he's like, and he if you read that book, he's prodding Vader about this situation seems oddly familiar.
And your combat style looks familiar, Vader.
Yeah, no, he prods Vader a lot. He doesn't say it outright because anybody that says it outright, Vader would kill. But the fact that Thrawn is, he knows Thrawn is Vader knows that Thrawn is messing with him, and Thrawn is doing it because Vader, he knows it annoys Vader, and he's one of those assholes that gets that gets enjoyment out of torturing others.
That is
that's how Thrawn is.
Well, that you got to remember, Thrawn. I would love to see him brought to live action because I would really want to see either Lars reprise the role or see Jason Isaacs do it. Because the way
Yeah.
they did the Grand Inquisitor for the first couple episodes of Kenobi,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you could have done better prosthetics work.
But the reason people are pissed off in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is because the third sister of the Inquisitors should not know that Vader is Anakin Skywalker. One.
Hear me out.
Two, not even when the Grand Inquisitor first met Darth Vader, okay, he was literally assaulted by Darth Vader in the Jedi library, okay, in the comics. If you read the comics, he was assaulted by him. But the problem is, even the Grand Inquisitor didn't recognize Vader as Anakin Skywalker.
Because if I remember
He doesn't know.
right,
The only person in the Empire that knows that Vader is Anakin, there's only two people in the Empire that knows Vader is Anakin Skywalker. The first one is
Thrawn.
no.
The Emperor.
Thrawn suspects that he's Anakin. He doesn't know for sure. Okay, the only person that knows, there's only two people that know in the entire Empire that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker. The first one is the Emperor. The second one is our favorite Grand Moff that blew up on the Death Star.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Well, sorry. I'm gonna put it out there now. Yes, I do think the Empire did nothing wrong because we're going by the old extended universe mythology.
I go by the old Legends mythology or propaganda, or imperial propaganda. You know what that was? The Empire, peace through oppression.
Well, also
that was their slogan. It really was.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But if I remember right, under the old extended canon, the Legends canon now, as I like to call it, the Emperor knew about the Vong way before they ever showed up.
Yeah, well, that's because basically the original in the Legends trilogy, okay, well, not trilogy, but in Legends, the reason the Emperor was making so many super weapons is because not only did he have visions of the Vong invading his unit of the galaxy, he also was told by Thrawn about the Sea Rook that were invading the unknown regions and that they were being pushed by Vong scouts to do so.
And if I remember right, he also got a report that I think it was the outbound flight.
Yeah.
Encountered a Vong ship.
Well, it wasn't actually the outbound flight didn't encounter the Vong ship. The outbound flight encountered the Chiss Expeditionary Defense Fleet and
our favorite blue-skinned Grand Admiral.
And our favorite blue-skinned Grand Admiral blew it up. And then got literally he was literally exiled from the Chiss forces for doing so, and basically left stranded on a planet.
Yeah, but
because he fired on them without provocation and killed them all. And
I mean, wouldn't you?
The Chiss didn't like that. And this is from Legends, okay? But getting back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, okay? The series. There's only, as I told you, there's only two people that know for sure that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader in the Empire. That's Tarkin, and that's the Emperor. Those are the only two. Thrawn suspects, but he doesn't have proof.
That's a fair point.
And Vader has not told him. So, if you want to say three people, okay, three. Okay, but the problem is, how did the third sister find out? Did she see him under the? Did she see under his helmet?
That
because
or
she shouldn't know. Not she's too young. She's too young to have unless she saw Anakin Skywalker with the clone troopers killing all the younglings in the Jedi Temple. She would not know.
Well, I have a theory about that. Remember the first episode where they have the flashback scene of the younglings when Order 66 goes down?
Yeah.
I think she's one of those younglings who fled the temple.
Well, most of the Inquisitors were.
Yeah, which is scary.
Any Jedi that wasn't with clone troopers at the time of Order 66 went into hiding and eventually were hunted down, and either one of two things happened. Okay, to those Jedi that escaped Order 66. One of which they were killed, or they were put in those tombs in the Inquisitorium.
Well, see, we don't know
Second,
if
the
those
second,
Jedi in those tombs are
the
alive.
second, if any Jedi submitted to the Empire and went willingly, they returned to the dark side and they became Inquisitors themselves. That's what happened to the Jedi in Star Wars.
But
Okay.
I did like in the first season when they showed up looking for that one Jedi, and the Grand Inquisitor's just like, "There's a Jedi here. How do we know? Because they can't stop being themselves."
Well, if you looked, uh, that Grand Inquisitor is the same one that was in Rebels.
Yep. But
Yep.
I do. The only issue I have with Kenobi so far is how they did his makeup, because he does not look correct. Because if I
Yep.
remember right, he's from Utapau,
Who is?
the Grand Inquisitor. He's the gray skinned people we saw Kenobi talking to when he went in on Utapau to kill Grievous right before Order 66 drops.
I don't know if he is or not.
I think he is. So they're supposed to have more elongated, not rounded. And if you look at the way they portrayed him in live action, he does not match up facial makeup wise to what he appeared as, both in the comic books that he shows up in and in
Yeah, you're right.
Rebels.
He's from Utapau.
Yeah, so they totally screwed up his makeup. That's the only negative thing I have to say about it.
They didn't screw up his makeup, okay? And here's the reason why. Those red things on his eyes and on his forehead, those are tattoos. Those are actually Sith tattoos.
I thought because the administrator in episode 3 has the same marks, and from I forget what book it was. I think it was one of the incredible like visual dictionaries that DK Books puts out. It said it's due to their high meat and iron content, so it's like an iron buildup in their skin, right?
No, the thing under his eyes and on his forehead are tattoos, and they're probably Sith markings or dark side markings because that's what the Empire did. Now, if you look at the Inquisitor from Rebels, once his Force ghost is talking to Kanan Jarrus, you'll see that his Force ghost doesn't have the tattoos.
That's a fair point. And it still catches me off guard that he was a Temple Guardian.
He was at one point, yes.
And if I remember the new lore right, he became disillusioned with the Order after Ahsoka got framed for falling to the dark side by Barriss Offrey.
Yep. And that's just how it goes.
Which I'm surprised she wasn't like sprung from jail and turned into an Inquisitor. But who knows? But I mean, it's been so amazing so far.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm liking the new Obi-Wan. I enjoy more Star Wars because it's good. I do really want to see what happened to Ezra. I want them to go and find Ezra because I know he's still alive out and he's still out there.
But the sad thing is the young girl that they got to play, young 10-year-old Leia, freaking awesome. Like absolutely hits the portrayal of what a young 10-year-old Leia should act and be.
Yes. And realize this, okay? Obi-Wan is really just Leia and Luke are only about 10 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. About let's say this is about 5 years before Rebels. I'm going to say it's about 5 years before Rebels.
I would like to think so.
Okay, Star Wars Rebels. So right now, if there are any Rebel cells fighting the Empire right now, They are individual cells. They are not part of a greater rebellion. It wasn't until an Ezra's speech that was heard all across the galaxy that that every rebel cell decided to unite and become the Rebel Alliance to restore the Republic. Because that was the full name of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, the Alliance to restore the Republic.
It was a bunch of rebel cells that decided to create an alliance and fight as one group, as the Alliance to restore the Republic.
Which, under the old lore, before Disney bought it out, came from the petition of 2000, which was 2,000 galactic senators who, near the end of the Clone Wars, wrote a petition to get Palpatine to step down and have new elections for Supreme Chancellor. Because I think Padme was part of that initial, petition of 2000. I think. But, yeah, it's going good. And seeing how, in Kenobi, how he's dealing with, all the PTSD from his actions during the Clone Wars, that hits deep, too. He's like, but I'm not the man I was 10 years ago. And you're like, ooh, dude. Obi, what happened to you, man? But in episode 4, when he deflects that blaster ball and it hits the glass, also, that's the one nitpick I have about episode 4. Who puts glass windows on a tunnel under the water?
The Empire. The Empire is that lofty.
But seeing him hold basically a whole ocean world's weight of water on that tiny little crack in the glass so Leia could get out, I'm like, yep, he's back.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole episode was just sad. Episode 4 of Kenobi, because you see the tombs, but I don't know, is that the same as carbon freezing or not?
No, it's a different process where basically
because it looks like they're in some sort of amber solution.
It does, and they could be alive still. They technically could still be alive, or they're dead and they're being preserved indefinitely.
Well, because I think who's Barriss master? She was the same species, green with the tattoos across the nose. Luminara,
yeah.
I think she was almost mummified in one of those tombs, because if I remember right,
she was mummified.
Yeah, and then there was
another, and they tried to use her to draw Kanan Jarrus out.
Yeah, and then there was a youngling in one of them.
Okay, it's canon that the Rebel Alliance is called Alliance to Restore the Republic even within the new Disney.
Okay,
so the Rebel Alliance is still the Alliance to Restore the Republic,
which is actually funny because I have a Rebels captain insignia, and then I have a senior lieutenant Imperial Navy rank insignia. And people at work know, depending on if it's on my raincoat when I walk into work.
I am totally a Grand Admiral.
Well, yeah, but who has that rank plaque? Me.
I gotta order one.
Etsy,
where did you get yours?
I had to get one. The lieutenants and the captain's bars that I got it off of Etsy. And those are amazing because they're magnetic. But the Grand Admiral one, I got off of Amazon because it's a Star Wars Galaxy Edge exclusive. But I found someone who had one for $30 on Amazon. And that one's unique because you can pop off the little color tabs and make it like a regular Admiral, or it comes apart in two, and you could do ISB or just lower rank.
Screw the ISB. The only time the ISB was ever important is in Dark Empire 1. And the reason why is because that's right before Dark Empire 1, Yasan Izzard took what was left of the ISB on Coruscant And
added it to Imperial Intelligence, I believe.
no, she took the Super Star Destroyer that was buried under Coruscant's capital, and she took it and forcefully brought it into orbit.
Oh yeah, that Palpatine had buried as an escape plan.
Yes, it's
Ushanka or whatever.
the Lusankya.
Which everyone's like, oh, that doesn't exist. That's a myth. That there's no such prison as that. And then it literally rips itself out of.
It was the sister ship to the Executor.
Yeah.
It's canon, by the way.
And then, if I remember right, it got captured by Han Solo.
Basically, the rebels captured a Super Star Destroyer.
And then put their big rebellion logo on it and used it as, I forget who commanded it, because they used it during
Wedge.
I don't know if it was the Yuuzhan Vong War books or it was the Second Galactic Civil War when the original Solo kids, when the older brother went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and fell to the dark side.
Yeah, no, they lost the Sankhya in one of the later battles when they were fighting the it was I think it was during the Battle of Borealis.
Yeah. Oh my God. So many good ships. We
Borlius.
we would be doomed if we had to pick 5 ships from Star Wars. If we could command, would command.
Oh, I could pick 5 easily.
I couldn't. I mean, I that's how bad it is for me. Because think about it. There's millions over the over all the lore. But
see, mine would be super weapons.
Fair enough. You are the all-powerful Night Strike, and you need to be able to smite anybody at a moment's notice.
Because if you read the X-Wing books, Warlord Zinj tried making the Sovereign class Super Star Destroyers, which were basically they had the design for them because the Emperor was going to build them after the eclipses because they were basically mini eclipses. They couldn't destroy a planet, but they could ruin the crust of a planet and completely wipe a city off the face of that planet.
Kind of like the Zeiston from
so
the last Skywalker, whatever
of the Star Wars ships. If I could have Star Wars ships, one of them, it would be probably in this order. Okay, if I could have Star Wars ships of 5 of them, I can give you 5 right now. One would be a Katana Dreadnought, Katana Fleet Dreadnought. Why? Because you wouldn't need 20,000 people to crew it. You'd only need
because they were specially modified
because it was slave rigged, and slave rig was a type of technology where you could completely automate it.
Okay. Yeah, and you only needed maybe a crew of 20.
So Katana Fleet Dreadnought. Next, because I love the old style, it would probably be a Victory 1 Star Destroyer because of the Old Republic or the Republic, because they used those at the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, because if I remember right, they were bringing those on at the end of the Clone Wars to supplement the Venerators and the Acclimators.
The next, as I said, the Sovereign Super Star Destroyer, because it's a mini eclipse. Okay. The next one up, I'd want an Eclipse Super Star Destroyer.
Figures. I mean, for when Hondo really makes you angry and you have to invoke the wrath.
And the last one is a smaller ship, but it's still a ship, but it's also a super weapon.
Ooh. Can I guess it? I think I know the one you're talking about.
Which one do you think I'm talking about?
The Sun Crusher.
Exactly. That's the one I'd want. You know why? Because if you don't like the people in that system, you can completely wipe it out.
Isn't that like the one super weapon that is like the hardest to destroy because they literally built it to withstand the sun going supernova?
Yes, it was built to, well, not a sun, but a star. Okay, it was built for a star to go supernova and to withstand it. So when when Admiral Dalla tried to use the prototype Death Star, which was basically the Death Star superstructure and the skeleton of the Death Star and
And the
the
laser.
axial super laser and the control room. That's all it had on it, really. And she tried to use that to attack the Sun Crusher, and the Sun Crusher took 2 direct hits from a Death Star, and it only singed the paint.
Damn.
Okay, and that's why I'd want a Sun Crusher, because I want a weapon that, if used, I can survive in.
Speaking
And
of
that
which,
one, that's it. So,
I wonder what, because those are special torpedoes that launched. I wonder what if you launched one of those torpedoes, say at like
yes, those are special torpedoes
a planet, what
of
could it
which
do to a
the
planet?
Emperor had on another type of weapon that used similar style torpedoes to destroy entire systems too. And that would be the Galaxy Gun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he made most of these weapons to try and to fight the Vong off with them. But the problem is, because he made these weapons and he kept getting attacked by rebels and the Rebel Alliance and the New Republic, the Emperor decided to use them on them instead, and that's why they got destroyed. And that's why, by the point where the New Republic was getting invaded by the Vong, they tried to
Find all the lost super
they,
weapons.
they tried to find they were really trying to find a super weapon that the Emperor had left behind, because they were thinking, since the Emperor made one Eye of Palpatine, was just the giant dreadnought in the middle of an asteroid. They were trying to see if there might have been another one, because they're 2 eyes. Because really, they were losing really badly against the Vong early war, really badly.
Yeah, like until the what? I want to say Baron Fell showed up with the Chiss too.
Yeah, well, no, because it was just the New Republic at the beginning. Until
Oh
the
yeah,
Empire and the Chiss and the
the
Chiss
Chiss
the Chiss
ascendancy, the
ascendancy,
Imperial Remnant.
yeah, because the Chiss ascendancy was allied with the Imperial Remnant. Okay, and until the Imperial Remnant allied with, and the Chiss ascendancy allied with the New Republic was fighting the Vong in most of the galaxy by themselves. They were losing.
But
So, anyways, that's all legends. So let's get back to
Kenobi.
No, let's see. We're done with Kenobi and Star Wars.
Well,
Let's get to
before we finish Kenobi, I want to say this:
okay.
Kenobi Episode 2 gave us the saddest and most interesting stormtrooper death yet.
Which one?
When Obi-Wan shot the stormtrooper and he fell off the guard tower right on the laser gate and got cut in half.
Seemed,
I'm like, ooh, that's a one hell of a way to die.
I just wish they had retconned Kyle Katarn.
That is sad. It is.
I mean,
I'm
sad that they retconned. They also retconned another of my favorite characters, because of Disney, the last Royal Guard.
Oh, that's the one from the Crimson Empire series,
Kir
right?
Kanos.
Yeah, he had the red and black armor, if I remember right.
No, that was Carnor Jax.
And he was the one that betrayed the rest of the guards.
Carnor Jax in Dark Empire, in Empire's End, Carnor Jax hired the Emperor's physician to make a faulty batch of clones, that last batch. And the Emperor had no choice but to use that batch of clones.
And Crimson Empire is the other guardsmen.
Crimson Empire is when Jax, took what was left. Jax had all the other Imperial guards that didn't die at Empire's End with the Emperor. He had all the rest of them killed because he didn't want anybody to oppose him, and he took over the Imperial Ruling Council and was trying to set himself up as the new emperor, because he had secretly been learning the dark side of the Force from the Emperor when the Emperor was when he was supposed to be protecting the Emperor. He was he was keeping notes.
So he was Force sensitive, basically.
Well, most of the Royal Guard were.
Well,
But
wouldn't that make them the Shadow Guard then? Because the Shadow Guard were
no,
trained
because
Force users.
the Shadow Guard were trained in the Force. The most normal Royal Guardsmen either had the Force or knew how to use it, or they had the Force, but they didn't know how to use it and they weren't trained in it.
Hold on, let me. I'm gonna fact check this real time.
Because the Shadow Guard were trained in the basics of the Force. You want to look at the Emperor's Shadow Guard.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now on Wikipedia.
They were Force sensitive soldiers recruited from the
Yeah,
defeated remnants of the Sun Guard and Jedi
and
Knights.
Jedi who fell to the dark
Jedi.
side, so they could use the Force.
Some of them could, but most of them were just Force sensitive.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, they got the cooler armor. I like the black with the red visor.
And most of the normal Imperial Royal Guard were the thing about the Imperial Royal Guard were that some of them may have been Force sensitive. Okay, they just didn't tell anybody. One, and two, most of the Imperial Royal Guard were recruited elites from the stormtroopers, the ones that actually could hit the broadside of the barn. Because how do you think Kir Kanos and Karnar Jax became Royal Guardsmen? They were notarized by being the best of the best in the Imperial Army as stormtroopers. So.
Oh, it won't let me download that picture. Damn it.
So anyways, let's wrap up Kenobi because we're getting too far down the rabbit hole with Star Wars.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if I had to be a cog in the Imperial machine, yeah, definitely Shadow Guard. I mean, lightsaber pike, dude, and heavy blasters.
Nah, I'd rather be in Legends, part of the dark side elite.
So, do you want to do the D-Day or T-Rex guns first?
Let's do T-Rex gun. Let's do dinosaur guns. Since the new Jurassic Park is out and we're talking about.
I was gonna go see that yesterday, but I didn't get.
I was too, and I just ended up not doing it. What guns would you use to fight dinosaurs with?
Okay,
and we both have an interesting perspective on this, but
I mean, you're going for basically hand portable artillery. I'm going for practicality. Because you're gonna still have to outrun those things. So, do you want? I'm gonna let you go first. Any honorable mentions?
No.
All right, I'm gonna get my honorable mentions out of the way first. Honorable mention for one, AT4. Think about it.
Aren't you going a little too big there?
It's a man-portable rocket.
That's not a gun. That's a rocket.
Okay. Fair point, but if I gotta make sure that Dino is dead, that's why it's the honorable mention. One of my two honorable mentions. My other honorable mention is the only one to be quoted on the manufacturer's website because it was featured in one of the movies, capable of taking down a T-Rex, even though it's chambered in 4570, and that's the Marlin 1895 SBL.
Okay.
Yep. Those are my honorable mentions, so let's head to number 5. You want to go first with your 5, or should I?
Hold on. I'm looking mine up, okay?
Ooh,
okay.
Dramatic pause for effort.
Dramatic pause. All right. You want me to go first?
Yep, you're number 5.
All right, my number 5. We're easing in. Desert Eagle.
What caliber?
50 AE.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm pretty sure
Not
Grant
dinosaurs. You got to
I'm
have
pretty
something.
sure admin results and Grantham would agree with you there.
Yeah.
Because if that little hand cannon would be good for anything, it'd be killing
50
dinosaurs.
caliber would be the minimum for dinosaurs.
I don't know. Some guys were in the earlier Jurassic Park ones were using 1911s and 9 mils.
And how long did they live?
They were dino nuggets.
There's your point.
If you know what I mean.
Okay, so
my number 5 is the UTAS 15.
Turkish copy.
Yep, because it's a 12 gauge. If you,
I don't think 12 gauge is enough gauge.
I mean, if you were using a solid lead slug, it might. It might.
Maybe.
Maybe on the smaller, Honda-sized dinosaurs, it might work.
Or maybe a bucket of buckshot, in my pick would be better.
Yes, it would be. Number 4.
My number 4 would be a punch gun, which is what they used in the late 18th century, the late 19th, early 20th century. They used to commercially hunt fowl, ducks, waterfowl, and they were banned They were banned of use because it wasn't sustainable for the waterfowl population.
The shot pattern coming out of that thing literally take out a whole flock.
Mm-hmm. They could take out a whole flock. So instead of putting birdshot in one of those, put double up buckshot and gunpowder in it, because most of them were muzzle loaders, and fire that at a dinosaur. I'm pretty sure it'll make Swiss cheese out of a dinosaur.
Yeah, it probably could. But the question is, I wish they would bring those back so we can take care of a certain a goose that takes down more airliners than anything else. If you know what I mean. They come from the north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 4 is for you, Night Strike is?
I already told you.
Oh, number 4 is okay, so my bad. Mine is the HK91A2. Yes. Only reason I will use it for the small stuff that's small about my height or smaller.
Okay, let's replace the HK91 with the G3, and then I can agree.
Okay, yeah.
Because the G3 you can fire in semi-auto or full.
Yeah. Wait, what was the belt-fed version of it? Wasn't that the 21?
That was the MSG1.
I'd probably either take that too in place of number 4. Now, because
MSG3, I think it was.
I think
Yeah, it's the MSG3, which was the machine gun belt-fed variant of the G3.
Because I like to think that under what a true Velociraptor will look like, not what's in the films, because they were actually about maybe my height,
right?
Which is 5'5". A true, because I think the Velociraptors we get in Jurassic World are more Utah Raptors, which were really big and
right.
But I like to think at least the 7.62 could probably do some damage to at least a Raptor. At least.
Well, you're gonna like my next one. So, my number 3. Okay.
Oh, your number 3?
My number 3 is the jackhammer.
Wait, is that bullpup rotary fed 12 gauge?
Yes, because it's faster than what you picked, and it's better than a SPOS 12.
Wow.
If I'm gonna have to
feel bad about my number 3.
If I'm gonna have to fight dinosaurs, I want something that's easily, easily taken. You can easily take.
That's wouldn't an alternative to that be like maybe an AA-12 with the drum?
Well, you could use an AA-12, yes, but
With
I
those
would.
cool 12 gauge frag
But
rounds.
but I liked the jackhammer better.
Thanks. Now I'm gonna have to go watch
And
Gunji's
cord
video
jackhammer.
on
Look it
that.
up.
Oh, I know. Gun Jesus has a video out on it.
Yeah. Which the guy that owns it, he's got both of them. He's got the prototype that was never assembled, and then he's got the actual one. And if you get him to take measurements of the actual one, another company could just get the rights and just make more of them.
I wonder,
commercially.
would an acceptable substitute to that be that new Ford TS12? Because isn't
No.
that
No, I don't
semi-automatic?
like that. I like the new Tavor 12 gauge shotgun, but it's not a jackhammer. It's just not. I gotta turn my AC on. Hold on. It's getting too hot in here.
It's all that Red Bull Monster you drank. Nice,
No,
right?
I only drink.
Warming you up.
Only drink one. No, it's just getting.
But DM Foss actually has a good recommendation. An M60.
He says the Marlin is his choice and an M60. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
but which M60?
What's your number 3?
My number 3, it's a Spaz 12.
Spaz 12.
I mean, come on, it's the clever girl scene. Ever since that scene, I've wanted one.
Okay.
And I can't afford one, but I have touched one.
Well, I'm looking at seeing if I can get one of those Turkish shotguns that do semi-auto and whatchamacallit,
Pump?
pump, because one of the Turkish shotguns does it, and that would be the next best thing to a Spaz 12.
I am curious what your number 2 would be.
Okay, you want my number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I went the same route you did with a 308 machine gun, but I went and took it up a notch.
Oh?
The M134 minigun.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty effective against dinosaur, I'm not gonna lie.
Think Terminator. Think Predator. That wasn't 5.56. The M134 is the same thing, but it's in 308.
Damn.
Okay.
So do you got that backpack fed, or do you have it hard mounted on something?
Honestly, if I'm fighting dinosaurs, I want to be mobile as much as possible. I want to be able to outrun dinosaurs. So
put it on like a SWAT armored vehicle or something like that.
Honestly, what are those really, really fast track machines?
Oh, I think I know what the one you're talking about.
What's his name? Cletus McFarlane has one.
I know what you're talking about. They were in the second G.I. Joe movie too, right? Oh, I know what you're talking about, but
it's the Ripsaw.
Oh yeah, the Ripsaw.
The Ripsaw.
I think isn't that made by somebody in the Carolinas?
They're made here in the United States.
Because those things are cool.
I'd want the tank variation of the Ripsaw, and I'd want it to be mobile because that thing is all terrain. You don't have to worry about.
Now the question is, would you have that in a remote control turret so that way they can't bite you?
Yes.
So that means you would need a driver and a gunner.
Oh, I would go with the tank variant because I don't know if you've seen the tank variant of the Ripsaw. But
no, but let me Google it.
No, here I'll show you right now. Here, there's the tank variant of it.
That's either a 25 or a 30 millimeter chain gun on there.
Not a chain gun. It's an anti-personnel gun. It's more of a tank gun, like what they have on the
Bradley. So that means it's probably a 30 mil.
So it's probably a reciprocating barrel.
Okay, yeah. See, if I needed a vehicle to get away from a pack of dinosaurs, I'm taking that.
Yeah, these are fast. These are really fast. Even with that armor on it, it's still super fast.
But Night Strike.
Yes.
I'm not calling you big, but I don't think you could fit in it.
F you.
Hey, look, I just want to make sure you get to safety in the event dinosaurs
I
get
can fit
resurrected.
in it. Thank you very much, ass.
Well, I didn't know that. I just
I'm
worry
not
about
that
you.
large. I am not like snob large. I'm large, but I'm not that big.
But speaking of which, I think Honda's like surpassed you based on the Tulsa Range Day video I saw.
Yeah, no, DM Foss. Yeah, they did. They did.
Oh,
Uh,
that's who. Yeah,
how
how
and
and how.
how make the ripsaw, and the thing is that it is fast. Okay, so you could probably outrun a dinosaur with one of these things.
You would definitely outrun a T-Rex.
Yeah. So
Because it's only the meat eaters we have to worry
okay,
about trying to eat us.
so what was your number 2?
My number 2, it's a little bit better. It was designed by the Saint of American Firearms, Saint Browning,
Mm-hmm.
Madus,
Amadeus. Okay.
a Madus. At least put like some like what are those armor piercing incendiary rounds on it. It might do a good job. Might.
So the M2 Browning.
Mm-hmm. Of course, get one of those nice models that if I had it on a vehicle, I could have it in a remote control turret and
Yeah. No. Yeah.
yeah. Or at least in the bunker in case if like, I'm in a fortified position and,
Okay. So now we're down to number 1. You want
our
to go
gold
first?
medals. Don't judge me for this, but mine is just in case they get a little too close, i.e. break through the window of the vehicle. 50 GI Glock or 1911. But I think the 50 GI Glock holds 2 more rounds.
I'm judging you because you didn't go 1911.
I said either or.
Okay. Now, my number 1 would be if I need to reach out and touch one from across the jungle, it would be a bolt action, but it would be a bolt action that would really reach out and touch one.
The question is what kind of glass would you have on it, and what kind of bipod would you actually
I would
use for
probably
it?
either have it mounted to crew mounted to a tank or or a Jeep or something because I wouldn't want it on a bipod.
Oh
Because
yeah,
of
pintle
recoil.
mount it.
Yeah. So what I would probably use is I would probably use the SSK Industries 950 JDJ rifle bolt action.
You got a picture of that for the viewers so they know.
Yeah, I've got a picture. Hold on.
Ooh, good choice there, Fat DM. 460 rolling Glock might work. I don't know. I don't have one of those, nor do I have a dinosaur facsimile to go to take out to a range to test. That, and I don't want to know how much 460 costs.
Yeah, neither do I. But here, screen share. This is the 950. This is the SSK Industries 950 JDJ rifle. Look at the size of that muzzle brake.
Dude, that muzzle brake looks like something you could tie a boat to.
You literally could use the rifle as an anchor.
The question is how I don't think that scope's powerful enough for that.
No, scope is fine. No, that scope is fine for that rifle.
Because where it's sitting, it almost gives off scout rifle vibes.
Well, the thing is, if you don't know what the 950 JDJ looks like, go look it up. It's ridiculously huge.
Hey, that's what she said.
Yeah, that is what she said.
But I don't want to know how much that rifle weighs. And I'm pretty sure it's a single shot.
Oh
So
yeah,
you got to make sure that round hits
it's single shot.
whatever freaking dinosaur you have in that scope sight.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Now, see, if I was gonna go with something that big and ridiculous and have it vehicle mounted, I'd have done a 20 millimeter Lottie anti-tank gun.
Right.
Because at least it's, semi-automatic. 20 millimeter should take out most dinosaurs. Because I think they do have a actual like flak round for it. Maybe, I don't know. Where's Burt Gunner when we need him?
Retired.
Fair enough. Oh, and before we get into our next top 5, when I went to the local gun show today, there was a single protester outside of there with a sign that says "Why." Do you know how much I just really wanted to stop and talk to that lady and be like, "Why what?" And like totally like just go G-webs on her and educate her.
Yeah, no, DM Foss says 460 Roland Glock. The rolling conversion can cost as much as the Glock itself. Yes, it does. I'd rather have a 460 Roland 1911 instead, personally.
I've seen quite a few of those, and I've seen quite a few Smith & Wesson revolvers chambered in that because it's one of the few rounds in Ohio you can hunt with in a pistol format or like a single shot hunting rifle because we're only allowed straight walls if we want to hunt with a revolver or rifle in Ohio.
Right. So, what else? What else? What else? What else? What was what do we else have on the docket?
Our other top 5 was top 5 guns we'd take with us if we were in D-Day.
If we were in D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is I would probably take what they had, really.
Yeah, because I do have 2 honorable mentions for this one too. So my first honorable mention would be IE a 9mm, which if I'm at D-Day, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find 9mm on every dead German there is.
You are.
I would have a more modern one for a little bit more high capacity, a SIG 293.
I wouldn't want to use anything that had German markings on it, period. Whether it's post-war or whatnot. So,
well, I think those were made here in New Hampshire.
Yes, but SIG is a German company at that point.
No, it was just strictly a Swiss one.
It was Swiss, and then it went German.
Yeah, because they partnered with Sauer and Sons after the war.
Yes.
My other honorable mention would have been a Colt 1903 pocket hammerless.
That's a good one.
Because I mean, think about it. 32 ACP was widely accepted in Europe and most of the world as a general officer's pistol or a standard beat cop pistol.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do what you did. I'm gonna do what you did with the whole rocket launcher thing earlier, and I'm gonna say that my honorable mention is I bring a Davy Crockett with me.
What the heck is a Davy Crockett?
Okay, think mortar.
Okay. Oh,
now
you're not talking about the Jeep mounted nuclear launcher, are you?
Think mortar with a nuke. The Davy Crockett was made in the 1950s during the Cold War to basically wipe out a city. But the problem is, because you had to fire it so close, you would get radiation from it. But I would bring a Davy Crockett with me just to nuke the Germans. Because we nuked the Japanese, and that had the effect, but the Germans really needed it.
Well, look, it only had the effect after we dropped a second one.
No, I'm pretty sure they got they were in shock after the first one. But yeah, my honorable mention would be a Davy Crockett. There you go.
I mean, I give you bonus points for that. I mean, on the ridiculous chart.
Obviously.
So what would your number 5 be?
Probably an H car. Because it's in a caliber you can find ammo for, one.
And I'm pretty sure
if you're gonna bring a modern gun to World War II, okay, you want to bring a gun that you can get ammunition for. So bring an H car, which is basically just a modified version of the bar.
It was such a nice, sexy looking rifle. But the question is, could it take a bar magazine?
It can be modified to use bar magazines. Yes.
But then again, I wouldn't want something like that in a.
But
That's
again,
the
why
only.
would you want to use bar magazines instead of H-car magazines, which are 30 rounds?
That's what I'm saying. More 30. You got 10 more rounds of
10 more
ducking
rounds
cover.
than the normal bar does. So that's why you use the H-car. Because then you can use it literally as like, a heavy assault rifle.
Hey, I got this to say about that rifle.
Mm.
Made in the Buckeye State.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I think they tried to actually advertise it to SOCOM. Be like,
Yeah.
look, when you need that extra punch, eh?
Yeah.
But my number 5, it's gonna be the thing that kind of got us in trouble with Germany right before World War One. The Springfield 1903 rifle. Because we literally infringed on their patents to build that gun.
No. See, we shall not be infringed. They
Yeah.
were the ones infringing. We won't be infringed. See how that works?
But they say and yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But we did end up having to pay them. Stupid
Yeah.
international courts.
No, we didn't. We really didn't. Anyways, moving on. Actually, the only one I would actually bring is the H car. I wouldn't bring anything else because honestly, everything else, there's nothing. They had good enough rifles and whatnot there. I wouldn't bring anything other modern because, I mean, aside from if you want me to bring something ridiculous, all right, I'll bring something ridiculous. The AF 2011.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, but
the AF 2011, which is a double barrel 1911. Why not? There you go.
think it's chambered in 9mm too, isn't it?
No, 45.
But my number 4 would have been the H car because valid point, modernized, probably a little bit better recoil management.
Yeah.
And I could put maybe a red dot on there. Seeing how you don't have nothing past that, my number 3 would have been a Mossberg 590 Trench, which is part of their retro series because
You know what?
12
No,
gauge. We had 12 gauges that shoot at the time.
I've got my number 3. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. This one's ironic. Okay. You ready for it?
I was born ready.
I'd bring an Uzi.
Just so you could say you killed a Nazi with a Jewish made gun?
And it's a 9mm.
I mean, the Germans did give us the most popular round in the modern era.
It's the most ironic gun to use besides a Tavor. Or a Galil.
Oh, dude, I saw like 3 of them for sale at the gun show today.
Yeah, it's just the problem is they're not worth $1,000 or more. They're only worth about the same price as what a normal what a standard AK is worth because they're in 5.56. And that's another thing. As I said, I don't want to bring anything that I can't find ammunition for.
Yeah, my number 2 would be the venerable greatest rifle ever designed, sadly by a Canadian.
The Ross rifle?
No, do you I don't.
I was making a joke there. Come on.
Fair point. We'll call us even now. Ass. I don't want a black eye.
The greatest battle implement, the greatest battle implement ever devised.
The M1.
The M1
Grand.
M1 Grand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one.
I know, and I nearly came home with one today with a grenade launching attachment. If I didn't buy the,
I can buy the grenade launching attachment. It's just I don't want to have to spend $70 for it, but I'm probably gonna have to.
Well, hey! How about this? We get you a sugar mama.
I wish. Anyways, so
or we get you your CDL. Boom, trucking.
Yeah, I don't want to be trucker.
Hey, you got that hey Mav, do you got that number to that truck driving school? Sorry, I couldn't resist quoting that. And my number one, because I gotta pour one out to the Fuds and a Yankee, a 1911.
There you go.
I mean, if I'm gonna be on the beaches of Normandy, I want a 1911. Just so that way I know that the person on the receiving end of that little pill of freedom and justice and liberty feels it.
Yep.
I mean, you're not going to call me a FUD for saying that? Because
No, I'll let it
that
go.
is such a FUD reply.
I will let it go.
But,
You get
I
one
mean,
chance.
I would love to get one of the CMP ones, but I have a modern one I got off of a late friend. It is a Springfield manufacturer, but because I bought it off of a friend, Springfield made no money on it. But it's such a nice 1911. Like I'm even thinking about getting different grips to get rid of those grips on there that have the Springfield big seal on it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, you do you.
That and while I was out at the gun show today, Night Strike,
Uh-huh.
I found a mint Russian-made Nagant revolver. 500.
Yeah. Remember what Foss says: 2 world wars.
That is true.
2 world wars. All right. Well, I think we went longer than I thought we were going to.
Yeah,
So
1 hour 12 minutes, but because we did get a little sidetracked about Star Wars.
we got
We can't
sidetracked to
help
Star
it.
Wars because we love Star Wars.
Yep,
And
yep.
I know shit tons of Star Wars.
You're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna give you fair warning. Heads up. Probably after Lower Decks runs through its season this summer, I'm planning a Star Wars chat, and Matt wants in on it.
You mean a Star Trek chat?
Yeah, Trek. Yeah, my
We
bad.
just had a Star Wars chat.
Yeah, too many Treks, wars.
Too many stars.
Yeah,
Stars,
too many
Treks,
stars.
and wars.
Because both him and I are enjoying Strange New Worlds. And I haven't watched this week's episode, so once we wrap this up, I'll probably be hopping on Paramount Plus and watching it. Because I hear this episode is supposed to have a very good plot twist.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently they have to sacrifice a kid to a machine in order to keep the world running. Or something like that. I'm like, so they're taking a page from Warhammer.
Okay.
That, and we actually finally get the first look at the new, a good detailed look at the Strange New Worlds phaser. And I kind of want to see how it differs from the Discovery one.
It probably won't differ at all from the original.
I mean, we can make a bet right now. And I just got to figure out how to, post an image on here. You know what? Doing it. That's how we're going to wrap it up.
How?
New Worlds phaser. Need a good picture of it.
It's probably exactly like the original Star Trek phaser.
Oh, this is on Etsy. Ooh, and it's a 3D file. So if I wanted to, I could buy it and have you 3D print it. Let's see. Screen share. Screen share.
Do you really want me to 3D print it? It won't look as nice. I'll tell you that right now. I could 3D print it, yes.
Okay. So, boom. Okay. Should be up now. That's it there. So it's gotten away from the Discovery look, but it's gotten a little closer to TOS. Let's see. There's the, yep. So it's got the detachable Type 1 that looks a little similar to TOS. It's got a much more noticeable trigger button. Oh, hey, it's got a
Yep.
Oh, and it comes with little LEDs for the little stun or kill setting. Ah.
Yep. All right. So with that, we're gonna stick a fork in her. She's done.
She's dead, Jim.
She's. Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a scientist.
But doctors use science, Night Strike. Peace out, y'all.
Shut up, infringed.
And don't forget, hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock EST, best time zone.
Friday Night Strike, whenever it happens,
With possible British guy.
with possible British guy and a firefighter or two.
Well, hey, that all depends on if I get home early from work.
I know. Shh, shh, shh.